her, I think 8-year-old kid. He plays Minecraft, and he was trying to teach me Minecraft. And I was like, I know how to play it. And then every time I purposely did something wrong, he would get like, no, Raza, this is not how you do it. So he grabs the controller out of my hand and starts teaching me how to Minecraft properly, because I don't know how to Minecraft.
Why you gotta bully the poor little kid? He's just
I'm not bullying. I'm not bullying. I'm just.
Yeah, it sounds like the key source of these problems is Raza.
Like, can we start? Or we just delay these nuts?
I think he's just waiting for us to stop rambling about bullshit and focus on the picture.
Okay, so welcome to Same Shit Different Day. This is Marching into Madness. I'm Bailey, and this is
Raza.
And we're here with our friend Wine Mom. Say hi, Wine Mom.
Hi.
Either way, so what's something notable that happened in your week, Raza?
I hate you so much. I hate you so Nothing, Bailey. Nothing happened in my week. I just hung out. Better yet, how was your Valentine's Day? I'll fucking raise you that.
Oh, mine was good. I made OG proper beer battered fish and chips, like English style fish and chips. And then because I'm a weird chef, I was like diddling about. When I walked through the grocery store, they had like white people cheese curds that you make poutine with. I took that shit and I beer battered cheese curds and deep fried it. It was pretty sweet, I gotta say.
That sounds like a diabetic attack ready to happen.
I'm paying for it a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Into that. What about you, Wine Mom?
I didn't do much of anything, honestly. Especially with like Valentine's Day, you know, everybody's really busy talking about stuff that doesn't matter. So I usually mind my own business.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's so I want to talk about the Gorilla Glue girl, because that's like
everyone's been talking for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks, I just discovered about it like this week and stuff, and I'm Twitter boy. I don't know what's going on. Whoops.
Seriously, you just discovered it?
Yeah. And shit. I'm sorry.
But
yeah.
If you're in any sort of you're on you follow Six Buzz. How the fuck did you not see it? It was like all over.
I didn't see it till like this week and stuff. So when people are like, "Oh," asking me about the Gorilla Glue girl, I'm just like, "The what?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, there was a girl who put Gorilla Glue on her hair." I was like, "Why?"
I think it's fair. Right. I think it's one fucking way overtired goddamn day. Like, if you're super sleepy one day, you could make that mistake.
No.
Wait,
you
hold
don't
on.
Think so?
No.
No, Bailey, because it tells you on the packaging, do not put this on skin or hair or ingest it.
Yeah, but like, I'm at you tired as fuck. You've seen the brand Gorilla Snot before, which is a hair brand, right? You're rolling around. You already know that shit exists. You fucking, who knows? You could have been taking care of your kids all day. You could be mad tired. And then you accidentally grab the wrong fucking spray. Like, it happens, you know?
But that's not what happened.
I know what happened.
I know.
So, wait, that Gorilla Snot, can you get it from a hardware store, or is it like sold like
I believe it's an American only product. I've not seen it in any hair stores in Canada.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure the Gorilla Glue you get at a hardware store. Like, you would have to go out of your way.
So I don't understand the defense that people use that, because why is it that this human, I got the spray, why do we have to presume that she went to Home Depot? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but you've watched the video, right?
Yeah, but that's like saying because he's a murderer, he definitely bought the knife himself.
But
No, but like in the
That's not
video,
what
she
happened, though.
specifically says she uses a product that is a name brand product that everybody who's anybody uses to lay their edges or to put on wigs. It's called Got to Be Glued. It's by the company Bedhead. And then she just decided, because Got to Be Glue is a spray formula, that the Gorilla Glue should do the same thing, and that she figured it would be, you know, wash outable, like water soluble, but obviously a hardware glue that's meant to glue cement is not going to be water soluble.
100%. Yeah. So like, and yeah, so she spent like, so she tried to go to a doctor, and the doctor said, no can do, missy. Because like it was, and she chopped off her ponytail too, just because it was so sticky. And then a dude did it. A dude did it to say she was lying about it or something.
Yeah, the guy who glued his lips together.
Yeah, that's the only part of this I'm interested in. How did he? So was he trying to prove her wrong?
Yeah,
no, he was just being a dick.
He was just fucking around with the glue, trying to show off, and it went sideways.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much you guys pay attention to what's going on, like as far as TikTok, because that's where this originated. But there is a young kid on TikTok who's done the exact same thing, basically put glue in their hair. But I don't think that he used, or I should say I don't think that they used Gorilla Glue. I don't know what exactly he used. They used, sorry. It looks like, you know that like craft glue that you would use as a kid, and you would put it on your hand and like peel it off. So it looks like that's what they put in their hair, and they're basically going through, I think it's like supposed to be a joke, but going through and like memeing about how they're setting up a GoFundMe and all this stuff, and it's just kind of become like a joke basically.
Oh no. So it okay, so there's this whole like trend of kids probably.
I mean, it's like I was talking about this with my friend recently. Like, don't you guys remember the cinnamon challenge and the Tide Pod challenge and all that kind of stuff that was going on? Yeah, so kids are just now doing the Gorilla Glue challenge. And I've watched multiple different things. Somebody tried to wax her coochie with it.
Hell yeah.
That's just that's just gonna fucking keep cycling downwards. Like, that's always gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I assume this isn't new then. Like, it's been around for a while. This
like it started because of it.
Like,
it's
only been about 2 weeks.
I don't think you understand the pace of TikTok, Raza. Like the challenges.
I don't.
They're not.
I feel so old.
So it's like, because the shit moves like very quick. Like 2 days, 3 days, the challenge will last. Like it's not like the old IG days where it's like the ice bucket's gonna last a fucking month, and it only lasts long if the Karens get a hold of it because they can't keep up. Like fucking,
right.
Just now I'm seeing all the 40-year-old Karens make that stupid feta and tomato pasta.
That's that's adorable. Yeah, like it's also a good indication of how trends die too, of which demographic gets it and when.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think this was just this woman. I mean, I'm hard pressed to believe that it was a genuine mistake. I think that there was some negligence on her part. Like, you know better than to put glue in your hair. There's no reason for you to be like, I didn't know. Like, you know what glue's gonna do. The Gorilla Spray glue works exactly like super glue. And if you've ever used super glue, like, your hands are stuck to the desk, your fingers are stuck together, you're stuck to your clothes. Like, on the bottle, it specifically says, do not get on skin, eyes, or clothes.
Right.
So
yeah, and she can't even sue because, like,
well, right. So apparently she's saying that was a rumor.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Good.
So someone else made that up.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Raza.
And what's the other? I like the statement that Gorilla Glue put out. Like, we wish you the best. We wish you the best, doctors and stuff. It's so unfortunate. So how did it end? Like, I don't know.
She
went to.
Go.
Sorry, go ahead.
I debate. I'm fairly certain it's for clout, but I didn't follow with enough detail if he got a bunch of posts or something. But a plastic surgeon offered to do it for free, so she went there and passed out, and he did it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So
yeah, cool.
all expenses paid, trip to LA, plus service for free. He paid for her food and her stay.
That's sketchy, kind of. I don't know. It sounds like too good to be true.
You're missing again because you're not on TikTok. Like plastic surgeons are fucking huge on TikTok and Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, didn't know that.
Because of everyone's like obsession with like hashtag satisfaction. Like, what's more satisfying than someone fucking jamming their hand up in your face
and telling you like, look, this will even look, you look more prettier.
Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to plastic surgery. Like, if that's your thing, do it. But it's all about the trend of it, right? Like, it's so popular for young women, like younger than me, like in their, I don't know, late teens, early 20s. It's popular for them to start getting lip fillers. And it's like, it's not a big deal if you get lip fillers. I have lip fillers. It's not the end of the world, but it's about like when it's an appropriate time to do it based on your chemistry in your body. And if you're too young for it, you're causing irreversible damage. Yeah. And so that's the main issue with this whole like social media trend around like, you know, just anything, these stupid challenges causing children to do things to themselves that are irreversible. Yeah. And then the whole trend around plastic surgery and trying to build the body you want versus get the body you want.
Because everybody wants an easy way to do those things.
Exactly.
And they want grind like I assume like plastic surgery is more appealing to these people as opposed to going to a gym or something. I don't know. Like I'm talking about as a person who hasn't ever been on that app.
Well, it's about the instant gratification because that's what our generation is like.
It's like the ups and downs. It's kind of like tattoos, right? Like tattoos have become more socially acceptable, so that's a good thing. But then now at the same time, you're going to have people making like more rash decisions as to what they want to color their body with because it's more accepted.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same dilemma.
Like a bit being normalized and stuff, but like it's okay to have this many or to like put it in a certain spot, I guess.
Yeah, so it's like go.
No, I was just gonna say the trend of face tattoos is huge right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Everybody who's anybody is getting a face tattoo.
Yeah, Kodak Black just got one on his forehead. What is it? If anybody knows that.
No, I didn't see Kodak. Kodak's already got 1 million fucking face tats. So
no, but it's like it's a prominent one on his like it's like it's a falcon.
That's tight.
Or a vulture. It does not look tight. Just take a peek at it when you can. It does not.
Anything's
it looks
better
like
than an ice cream cone. Anything's better than an ice cream cone.
All right, yeah, I see. Yeah, you got me there.
I mean, like if you want to tattoo your face, like by all means go for it. Like I'm definitely one of those people, like I've wanted a face tattoo since I knew you could get tattoos. So I get the trend. Like when I was a kid, I used to put those like water ones all over my face. Like I get it. But it's kind of like people are just doing hype things and they're not really thinking about it. And it's like it's this whole like, oh, you're only young once, forever young. I can do what I want. Like, it's my body. It's my choice. And it's like, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Totally support you to do whatever you want. But like, if you know in 10 years, you're going to be going to get laser surgery, like, was it worth it though?
Yeah.
You sort of have to, jump.
The one that's got me here, though, is the one that I think Wine Mom is going to be fucking stoked on. Have you seen Aaron Carter's?
Yes, they're the best. The best. I love the tattoos.
That's the best face tat. That man has the deluxe face tat of regret. Like, you want to make a poster child of what not to do. He's got that what not to do face tat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Well,
he also will the deep end to himself.
He's a dog dad now, okay? He's a caring dog dad, all right?
Who has Nick Carter? I think got a restraining order against him.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The only reason I know of him is because he went on fucking No Jumper talking wild shit.
You know Aaron Carter?
Yeah.
What? Oh yeah.
Why did you learn about Aaron Carter?
What?
Who are you talking to?
You, Bailey.
I just told the story. He was on No Jumper.
No
and he was going off
God.
about his brother, and he was saying that Nick, that his brother used to like touch him and like make him drink underage, and all these like wild, violent accusations and shit. So then his brother put a restraining order on him after that.
Jesus Christ, man, the balls on. This is like the family pre-Kardashians. I remember they had a reality TV show, which.
Well, it was.
Yeah, you used to watch.
It kind of was.
Yeah. It was that weird era of like, you're not singing anymore. Let's just put you in everything.
Well, I think there was a huge market for singers and actors and stuff, specifically singers and like band people to have their own shows. Like Ozzy had a show, Gene Simmons had a show, Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson's had a show.
I remember that show on MTV.
Yeah. You know, the whole tuna is the fish of the sea joke, because, you know, that never gets old.
Yeah, they kicked off that whole, like, Jessica and Nick Lachey kicked off the whole couples reality show trend.
Yeah, they did, 100%. I agree with that. That's on a... Unfortunately.
Now that we're in the post-reality TV era, like, part of that is recognizing, like, it had a huge fucking impact on everything. Like, we wouldn't have vloggers and all these weird, hokey styles. No 90 Day Fiancé for you, pal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
You remember My Sweet 16, that show that would come on? It would be like these rich kids would have their sweet 16 birthday, and oftentimes their parents wouldn't get them the BMW or Mercedes in the car in the color they wanted, and they would lose it. They're like, I wanted a pink BMW, not a fucking white one.
Yeah, I definitely remember that genre of TV.
I hate it.
You remember Tyga was on that shit when fucking Kylie was underage still?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
no, oh my god.
Yeah, he bought her a car and everything.
He's been messing with her for a very long time. Well, not anymore, but yeah, it was very inappropriate relationship for sure.
And for MTV to just be airing it, like, yeah, this is chill. Like, yeah, totally fine.
Yeah, it was super cash and it was pretty gross.
At that time, wasn't he like up and coming, or what was he like?
Yeah,
still?
he was with Lil Wayne. He was kind of like, he wasn't like a superstar, but he had credentials.
Yeah, he was still like at that level where you knew his name and you could. Yeah.
Well, I mean, depending on what media outlet and like what community of friends you had, everybody was talking about how inappropriate that whole relationship was.
Yeah. Even now, like after, like when she got legal and everything, people were still talking about that too, like how Tyga had this weird sort of like influence on her.
But I mean, it's very popular. I shouldn't even say this is hot take. It's very popular for rappers to have a little bit of success and then start chasing preteens.
Oh yeah. Grooming. Yeah. They want control. They're divas. Rappers are divas.
Yeah.
They want control.
Well, they want a woman that's going to be submissive, right? Like, think of the whole R. Kelly scandal that was like literally has an entire show on Netflix. If you have not watched it, you should.
It's really good. Yeah.
He was disgusting. Like the stuff that he did to the women in his custody.
And he married one girl who was 15 years old, I believe, according to that documentary. It's not even hearsay. It's like there's like actual evidence.
He's still got his whole haram and everything.
Oh, does he?
Oh yeah, nothing happened. He's still out here doing his bullshit.
Didn't he go to jail for a little bit?
No, he almost did. Oh, he did? He did?
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally like physically abused, mentally, like whatever form of abuse you can think of with his first wife. So, his second wife. Yeah. If you haven't watched the documentary, you should watch it.
It's pretty good. Like, it's actually dark as fuck because like it's this weird like it peels off, like peels away at everything. Like I didn't realize how long his history of it was and stuff. I didn't know like it was like. Well,
basically since he became famous, that's what he was doing.
Yeah, that's the messed up part too.
But the thing is, like, he's not the only celebrity that's doing stuff like that. He just did it differently.
Yeah.
Like, there's all this stuff about Jay Leto right now. Apparently, everyone thinks that he is a cult. Everybody thinks that Kanye West.
Agreed.
Everybody thinks that Kanye West's church is a cult.
Yeah.
So. But that's what celebrities do. They feed off that shit.
Fucking what's his name? 30-second from my. Go ahead, Raza. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, the Jared Leto thing. Like I've seen documentaries from his Camp Mars thing. He looks like Jesus. With all of his camp. Like I like 30 Seconds to Mars. I saw them like 5 times. But I started to be like, hey, Jared Leto's giving off this weird cultish vibe, because if you see these videos he posts, he like thrives off of people like praying to him or like worshiping him and stuff. It's this weird mindset he has.
Well, I think a lot of celebrities have similar things to that. If you see all the stuff that's coming out about Manson right now.
Yes, I already knew. You like, I always kind of like had a feeling there is going to be.
Is there like a breaking news thing, like something this week that happened?
Like his very young. He dated this girl. Like, she's an actress. I cannot remember her name now. But so he dated her when she was underage, and he abused her in many ways, in many ways. And so she's come out to talk about it. The things I don't want to say exactly what it is. I think if anybody's listening and they really want to know, like, you should go and look it up, because it's pretty triggering stuff. If you haven't looked it up already. But yeah, it's crazy. And it's like the problem is that these celebrities get away with it because we idolize them. And I'm not talking about us specifically, but people in general, tend to like let them get away with so much more than we should. Just because we're like, oh, well, it's Manson. Like, of course we're gonna let it go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's because when you're a Rogan, bro, you get the world of meatheads behind you, and then you're excused for everything you do after that.
Right. Oh, it's his brand, or oh, like, he's just a little bit different. He's just a little bit weird. And it's like, yeah, there's tons of people who are totally just a little bit different and just a little bit weird. But there's also people that are just doing things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, it's like the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. It's like with power comes this need for, like, you have these weird urges when you have this power. Like, you have everything. Now what else can you get that the common man can't get?
Well, they get bored.
Yeah, they get bored, so they want the next thing. It's like a high. Well,
I think with Epstein, though, is he was looking for control. And I think, like, he knew, okay, it's a topic. He definitely was disgusting at his core, 100%. But then he started working with Ghislaine, I can't pronounce her name, Maxwell, and he started realizing that by offering these services that he was already offering to a lot of his rich friends, by offering them to specific people, he could start manipulating the way that things were happening in the world, and he could just get away with so much more.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe, this is so conspiracy theorists, right? But I don't believe that he's dead. I just don't.
Oh, okay. I believe he is, but I believe it's like it's not how they say it is. I believe it's he's attached to so many people, like Bill Clinton, I guess Obama and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is.
I can hear you, but sorry. Go ahead.
This is the one where I give it the 9/11 treatment, and it's like either way, it's fucked. So we're kind of like
either way.
Either way, it's really fucked up.
Are you watching anything, either one of you, of what's happening with what's her face? Gina, I can't ever say her last name, but Gina Carano or something like that. Yeah.
Carlano.
No.
Carlano. Yeah. So she's like heavy duty. She was in a Star Wars show called.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So she's come on, and all of these all of the right wingers like Ben Shapiro are hopping on. They're like, she's being censored for saying something that isn't actually true and stuff, when she has a history of saying things that are right leaning. Like, she's an anti-masker and she's a Trump supporter. She's also apparently anti-Semitic now. So you take that one in your pipe and smoke it.
Well, I think once you start going after the Holocaust, people don't really want to deal with you anymore.
Yeah.
It was a foolish comparison to make in the first place.
And what surprises me is that she threw away Disney money. Her career was set, basically.
It shows how show. But it shows, like, to take that as like a PR case study, though, man. Like, that's like someone of Gina's niche, like a empowered 42-year-old white woman, borderline TERF, right? Like, that's how disconnected they are, that they think they're immune to it, right? That they can just, I can just, it's right, I'm gonna put this meme to my story, and they're like, it doesn't matter. And then now, like, they're starting to see consequences, and then that's when the right throw up their fists, because it's like, oh no, another one of us got caught. Like, oh, life is difficult. It's just, that's what freaks me out most about it, is like, there's a whole world of Ginas out there who think it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Well, I think it's also a big deal that Disney pulled away from her, especially because, like, Disney's not necessarily clean either.
Yeah. I see the other side. It's because, like, they have certain Jewish tropes in their movies. Like, I believe Phantom Menace has a couple of them, but it's more like I don't know. It's more like it's a hard, because, like, I see the other side of it, because people don't know what is and what isn't anti-Semitism. So I guess they're painting a broad brush and saying everything is anti-Semitism. Not saying that wasn't, but, like, I think a lot of people are just jumping on a bandwagon and just saying whatever, whoever listen to, if it's Ben Shapiro or if it's somebody on the left.
See, and, like, what was I gonna, fuck my brain. Oh, the one part I will give the right side of it is, like, the Disney statement was a little unnecessary. They could have said, we don't want to work with her, this was offensive, but they, like, have never, will never. They added a lot of fluff. Yeah, they made a PR they made, like, a PR thing out of it. That's the part I'll give the right. They should have just let her go, said it was wrong, and that's it, done deal. Fucking stop it there.
Yeah. I think it's a power move on Disney's part, like because the right is all over the place right now, and it's more like let's add some more fuel to the fire.
Right.
And apparently Disney was looking for a reason for 2 months.
I did hear that.
Yeah. So,
I mean, like, if you want to fire somebody, just fucking fire them. If they don't agree with your image, like, that's one thing that really bothers me. You wait until somebody you represent says something so completely gross, and then that's when you're like, okay, now it's time to let you go. It's like, if you don't agree with somebody's message and, like, you're paying them enough money to work for you, like, let them go. It's that simple.
That's exactly why I'm still cheesed about the Trump getting kicked off of, like, Twitter and Facebook so late, right? Because like, if you really stand by that shit, how did he get this far?
Sorry to cut you off, Bailey. Are you watching this in my gameplay?
Yeah, a little bit. That's when I peek off to the side. That's when I see it.
So did you, Bailey? Did you watch the Joe Rogan stuff, or did?
Yeah. I watched Joe Rogan and Elon today. It was quite entertaining. I just always my first thing to start off with is always like, we need to reevaluate like what we call genius. Like, Elon is not a genius. He's smart. He's smart in the way that I'm like good at. I don't want to say I'm. He's.
Are you saying you're a genius, Bailey?
No, I'm not.
He's saying he's modern day Einstein.
Elon's just really good at putting dots together. Elon ain't no fucking physics genius. He's just taking the time to figure out rocket needs this, rocket needs that. Physics can do this, physics can't do that. He's not like some fucking super genius doing math equations all the time. He's just breaking down like, it was like the high school science of it, but because he's talking to Joe Rogan, it like makes him look like he's some fucking galaxy brain genius.
That's the thing. Oh, one of my favorite journalists like tried to sue him because he was making fun of him. Or no, Elon Musk tried to sue the journalist and stuff because he was making fun of him on Twitter and stuff, but it didn't go through. So I guess he blocked the journalist stuff. But it goes to show that even Elon Musk has the thinnest of skins, no matter what he says.
Well, and the part that was wild is Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, of all people, was trying to save his ass so many times. Like, there's gonna be articles about it, the episode, because it was like, he said so much shit. He was saying that he plays video games while his Tesla's on autopilot, and then he recommended that you can, like, just hit the I'm a passenger button. It's like, and Joe Rogan's trying to, like, it's just hearsay. Like, allegedly you could do that. It's like, oh my God, bro.
But I think that's what Elon wants, though. Like, that's the image that he enjoys to like push to people.
Yeah,
because he thinks it's cool. He thinks it makes him cool with the young people, so that's why he does it, because he can sell more cars that way. It's like, do you know how many people memed that whole thing when he was smoking pot on, I think it was with Joe Rogan, but he smoked weed and he was saying a bunch of stupid shit and everybody was like, oh, he's the same as us because he smokes pot. It's like, no, he smokes pot that you probably can't afford. And like, he's got a lot of fucking money and he's vibing and he knows that he can say whatever he wants and get away with it, because at the end of the day, people are going to be like, oh, well, he's crazy and he's a genius, and, you know, crazy and genius go together.
He almost lost his board position because of that, though. And then, like, their stocks went down for a second, but it's like a second, and Elon, that's like nothing, but still.
Well, right.
But
because it's going to go right back up once the young people.
Yeah.
I mean, but once the young people decide to, like, power with him, it's just going to go right back to the same thing again.
My favorite thing is like how he got rich. It's not like this kid came from nothing. Daddy owned an emerald mine in South Africa, and he's got like, the whole joke is like how he's like the Eggman from Sonic, and with the emerald diamonds and stuff, and that's like his whole like image that he is portrayed in online, not in his community, but like people outside of it.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just, I've said this on like a recorded episode of ours before, but like a much neglected thing about it is like the currency of wealth. Like, once you're in that circle with people who own fucking emerald mines, like, you know how to talk to those people. You throw a Bailey in an environment with billionaires, I'm probably gonna get roasted and cry myself to sleep. You know what I mean? Like,
look at this guy. He's working 9 to 5. Let's laugh at him.
So even if his daddy didn't give him the money, he still then is like, it's very obtainable to him to be like, oh, I'll just hit up like homie at Goldman Sachs. Like, that's not a problem.
Yeah. It's because he has that connection from his endeavors, I guess.
So that's part of it, is like, even when they say like, oh, he didn't get any of the money, or his dad didn't give him anything, it's like he inherently, without calling it white privilege, it's like he's got privilege.
Yeah, and his granddad had the Musks aren't I haven't gone that deep in his lineage, but the Musks were very wealthy. I think they've made a lot of their money in oil and mining and stuff like that. So there is I think, because he thinks he has a lot of money and he can do whatever he wants. That's what it is.
I disagree there wholesomely.
What?
I don't think it's anything like that. I don't think it's like because he has a lot of money he can do anything he wants. I think he's completely delusional. Like, I think it's more Kanye West-like than that. I think it's much more Kanye West-like.
I don't know. I can see it that way.
He's just been in his world and bubble so long that there is no outside. That it's just, I'm Elon, this is my beautiful wife Grimes, and
here's my
famous
child
on Twitter. That's why, because he's like a kid. He's like a kid on Twitter. He craves the fame because he doesn't know he's a little antisocial boy. He missed his teenagehood because daddy had so much money, and I want my approval, so I'm gonna go hang out with Joe rather than go to a board meeting. Like, that's what I think Elon is. I think he's like a kid. I think he's like a kid.
Yeah, I could say that because like everything he does is for the memes, and he's like the ultimate shit poster because of that. So I'm envious of him doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I like the concepts he did. It is humbling. The only part that is humbling is the little bit of innovation he does present, because you've got fucking NASA and all these people and everything's so stagnant. So at least there's someone on the scene like going like, no, like, yeah, I kind of want to go to Mars. Like, as douchey as he is being so casual about it, at least there's someone bringing it into like a viable reality again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the other thing, he's also cocky. I think that delusionalness, if that's a word, brings out the cockiness in him, because he wants to get 30, so 10 years away, and his rockets aren't. He's he's ambitious. I'll give him that, but like he's just has. Well, as you said, he just thinks like a kid with all of his goals and stuff. And when you think like that, you can't properly, develop in anything.
I think you can. But again, I think that's why you got to evaluate how we call him a genius. I don't think his delusionality necessarily gets in the way of him finishing anything, because clearly he's finished a whole fuck ton of shit.
Well, but at the same time, he finishes stuff, but like usually they're not on par with what is promised. Like, for example, the ventilators, when he during the beginning of the pandemic, he promised those and he delivered them, but there were only half of them, and they were weak. They didn't do what they wanted to do. So like he, like as I said, like he has these goals and stuff, but like he does not know how to like finish them properly.
Yeah, you say that, but the man's built rockets that land themselves, and a whole
and they crash
company.
every time, almost every time.
That's fucking ridiculous. What are you saying?
The last one just crashed. The last one like literally crashed, and like the a couple of them prior crashed.
It's rocket testing.
Well.
That's what happens, but it's like it's a higher success rate, or else you wouldn't have a successful rocket
The problem
company.
with that, Bailey, the problem with that is that you're spending public money. Like all of the money.
He's not spending public money.
Yeah, he is. I 100% Googled this.
It's a mix. It's some government funding from NASA. It's the same funding that Bezos is getting.
Well, Bezos isn't throwing around money at these projects and stuff.
Yeah, he is. But he's got an aerospace company. It's called Blue Origin. He's got a whole rocket base and everything.
But what I'm saying, dude, is that like all like, and okay, yeah. On top of that, like how many Teslas have been recalled? Like I believe it's close to over 300,000, right? So
you're
like,
saying you shouldn't innovate because you fail is basically what you're saying.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying don't be so aggressive with your goals. Is because shit like this is gonna happen. It's because like he says like, oh, I'm gonna create a self-landing rocket, right? And he creates it, but it doesn't do what he wants it to do.
I just think that's a bad example because it like is and does. You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So let me interject here because you guys are rambling. I think what Raza's trying to say, Bailey, is that like, yes, he's innovating. Yes, he's doing great things, but also from what I've seen is he has a tendency to like rush shit. Like he tries to go as fast as he can because he's been successful in the past, that he thinks if he just like, he can just like hustle through it and it'll work. But the reality is like, it's just not working. And, you know, like Elon is a quite the topic to get into, but opinion wise for myself, I just feel like he's kind of fucking around like a big kid, and because he has the money to fuck around like a big kid, he's just doing what he wants. And there's been a lot of times when he's done things that just don't work, but he's not going to let it go because he can't, because he wants to be successful and he needs to be successful.
Yep.
I mean, he is the richest man in the world, and he didn't get there just by, you know,
right,
laying around all day. So like, yeah, there is like, I do think he has some, like, I don't despair, like, I'm not saying he's like shitty like at what he does. I'm just saying like he isn't as good as what people expect him to be. So.
Right. I guess he's successful.
He's successful.
Go ahead.
I think it just, maybe it hits like an egotistical note on my behalf, because it's like you can't, a person who's like innovating, if you judge them by their failures, then yeah, fucking, he's gonna look like shit.
Like the ratio, like, yeah, okay, fine. I see what you're saying, but like his accomplishments, like yes, they're there, right? But they have so many hiccups. Like not many things he has done has been perfected. His SpaceX program.
Well, I think just based off of my interpretation of what I think is happening here, is that Roz is just trying to like humble his accomplishments. Like, yes, he's been successful, but he's not a genius. But like, yes, he's very smart and he's got all these things, but like, he's not perfect. He's not impervious. He's not gonna never make a mistake. Like, it's not like he does something and it's successful and perfect, I think is kind of what Roz is trying to say. But in the same breath, like, there's tons of things that tons of smart people have done and it wasn't perfect right off the hop. Like, you know, and he does have a tendency, and like, I try not to comment on this stuff too much because I don't have the knowledge, because I don't follow everything as far as Elon's concerned, because quite honestly, like, I just think he's a little bit sporadic, and I think like as an adult, he doesn't quite know who he is yet, and people are looking at him and wanting to be somebody who doesn't even know who they are yet. But I think like he has a lot of work to do, and I've seen some stuff in the news. He did shoot off some rockets without proper permission, and it's like, you can't be a representative of genius if you're going to do something so blatantly stupid.
And the other thing, like he said, like the one that really made me laugh is just like when he tweeted out, "We can coup wherever we want," and that was a reference to, I think, the Bolivian election, because Bolivia is rich in lithium, and like the Tesla batteries have lithium, like need lithium. So when he tweeted that out, Bolivia was going through a coup, and the socialist a leader who was couped out won the election again, and I forget. This was right after Elon Musk was we can coup wherever we want, and I think the president of that country took a picture of Elon Musk and burnt it to show that like you can't do anything here. This isn't America.
Well, I think right. I think Elon just kind of has this like billionaire nomad mentality, like where he's got lots of money and nobody can control him because he has lots of money. And I think that's indicative of like how we treat celebrities, whereas if they do have a lot of money, we tend to let them get away with a lot more than they should. So I think he's just a good image for that sort of group of people that gravitate towards that. So
yeah.
Oh, 100%. Did you hear about his plan to bomb Mars?
No, but I also don't care.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
kind of over ranting about Elon.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
well,
going
not
in
so much
circles.
that, but like, yeah, he's a character of his own. Like, you can't really say too much more.
Yeah, it's just like, and we're gonna endlessly talk about like wild failed ideas of the man. It's like I get what I like. That's where I will come to the middle ground of it's like it's just like because there have been so many mistakes. We're just gonna end up like fucking looping in convos about Elon's has-beens and has-nots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
So,
would you be? Would you? Let's say someone came into Raza's life, right?
oh boy.
They had all the fucking emeralds you could fill your pockets with, but sarcasm aside. But let's say you were in his position, you know what I mean? Like you had a dream, you had the money, you had the means. You're like, I want to get, like, would you not? If you had the ability to be Elon, would you be Elon?
Yeah. It is a loaded question. I don't know.
Like nothing, and you can't change the situation. You gotta be.
Yeah, I know.
Elon's
I
shoes.
have to be him. Like I can't alter and anything.
No, like Grimes and all.
Oh, fuck.
Okay,
no.
but are you
No.
trying to say that like we have to go along the same path as him, or are you saying to have the same sort of luxuries that he was afforded at the beginning of his career? Because if you're saying, would I be who he was based on the sort of beginnings that he had with, you know, his dad having all that money and his accessibility to success, would I turn out to be like him? No. If I was in the same boat as him, like mentally how he maybe was raised, maybe I could see myself being a little bit crazy or what people would consider crazy. But if I had the access to the funds that he did, I would do things a lot differently, for sure.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. when we're not in that position, it's easy to say an answer, but then
Absolutely.
in reality, yeah, so it's like, so I don't know if I'm gonna be real, Bailey, I would do 100% what Elon is doing because he seems like he's having a good time. Yeah,
that's an honest answer. I appreciate.
Yeah, if that's it's like because it's just like I do 100% agree with Wine Mom. I wouldn't be like that, but at the same time, when you're in that situation, it's just like it's a different animal.
Right. Well, you have to keep in mind, like, he's 100% a product of his environment, right? That's how he was raised to be aggressive and to be a go-getter and get the things that he wants. Like, these people, his dad being an emerald mine owner, like, to be somebody in that position, like, you have to be aggressive and you have to be a go-getter. And so when you grow up around someone like that, you become that person in your own right. Mm-hmm. So to see him end up that way, am I surprised? No. Do I want more for him? Yeah, of course, because he does have the ability to provide more for, you know, in a selfish way for the world moving forward. But, you know, you're trapped in the circle you're trapped in. It just, that is what it is. And if he doesn't want to change, then he doesn't want to change.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's just, it's people are people at the end of the day. What about you, Bailey?
Right.
What would I?
Would you? Yeah.
I don't know. Your answer kind of, you outwitted me. I kind of like, I don't know. One of the biggest, because I kind of agree like with the statement, and it's because what scares me is the like the ever scary analogy that like absolute power corrupts absolutely, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with you of like, how do I, it's hard to judge because I want to say I would do shit differently. But again, Same here. Lens of privilege. Like if I was like an inspired 18-year-old and I'm like, I'm going to go to space and you had the homies to give you the money to try to build a rocket company.
Yeah.
I think I would just fucking try it.
Yeah, same here. Like, there's no harm in doing it. So
that's the weird part. It's hard to answer.
Yeah, I know.
And you kind of outwitted me there. I didn't realize how hard it was until you said it. I was like, oh fuck.
Because like I tell my mom things. She's like, we don't know if the situation. So now.
Yeah.
Because I think about that often. And I was in the opposite of the woe is me when I'm frustrated that it's like, oh, I've been broke my whole life, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, what if I'm just a dick if I had money?
Right.
I know for a fact I will be, so I'm not beating around the bush. That's like, so do not give Raza a large sum of money because he will go straight like I will. We'll place it on the stupidest things ever.
Good to know.
You'll go full 50 in Ja Rule. You'll buy all the front row seats of your enemies.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, dude, that's so funny. Can't believe he did that.
Oh, I just watched a comprehensive history of their whole beef. So I'm over. I've got way too much Ja Rule knowledge in my head right now.
I like the interview where 50 Cent had what Jimmy Kimmel said. He's like, say one good thing or nice thing about Ja Rule, and 50 Cent was like, he's alive, ain't he?
LOL.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
50 Cent's fucking funny.
He is so jokes. Yeah.
Watching that though, the history, 50 Cent laid the fucking highway for 6ix9ine. Like when you study how he came up making fun of Ja, oh my god, it's like beat for beat 6ix9ine, but over like the record pace that you could do it when we didn't have the internet.
Right, slower.
Well, I don't stand 6ix9ine. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you see?
He's a garbage man.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The Meek Mill publicity stunt.
So I have a theory. They're putting. Soon they're gonna have a collab.
No, you're
Who?
fully fucking wrong.
Meek Mill and 6ix9ine.
No.
Honestly, I'm just predicting that guy's career to fucking end because it honestly, like, not to be a downer in this, but like when I say I hate that guy, like I hate that guy. Like everything he stands for is absolute garbage.
Yeah, I know, 100%.
Yeah. And the fact that like someone like that can even have a career is like, it's a joke.
And he's a snitch too. That's even the worst part about it.
Well, which is like the number one thing you don't do. Like if you really ride for people the way you say you do, like you don't do that. So you're not who you say you are. You're who you want people to think you are.
Yeah, again, I think the Meek shit, I don't think that was for a collab because Meek would lose his fucking career, probably his life if he ever went back to Philly. But I think it's more so that it's like it's a PR stunt because Meek's on high level probation. So if he swung at 6ix9ine on camera, he's going to jail. And that's the ultimate. Oh, fucking Meek went to prison, bro. You just foolish ass. Look at me, I'm 6ix9ine. I got Meek sent to prison. That's like the biggest fucking clout bag right there.
He wants like another like what was weird? He wants another thing to happen to him.
Well, which I think just further perpetuates his pussy mentality. Like how much of a fucking loser he is. Oh, I'm going to go after someone who can't actually fight me because they would go to jail. Perfect. Because I'm already a snitch and a little bitch. So it's perfect for me.
100.
I want to get that tattooed on somewhere on my butt.
I'm a snitch and a little bitch.
No. Pussy mentality right there.
Oh, pussy mentality? True. Yeah. True.
You better hope you never go to prison, bro.
Bro, I'm too fucking clean and proper to go to prison.
You say that now. Those are famous last words.
They'll purposely put you in the worst place of the prison because of that.
Yeah.
Cops are a gang, bro. Don't fuck around. They're just as bad.
You're telling me that, bro. You're telling me that. Being brown in the Niagara region, yeah, you're fucking.
Target.
Yeah, half your cops are bikers, anyways.
Hey, you're not wrong, but hey, only I can make fun of the Niagara region. It may be a shithole, but it's my shithole.
I wonder if the police force closest to the Canadian-U.S. border is corrupt or not.
And you know what they're doing? They're opening up a new police headquarters and stuff because that's what they need. There, and it's like state of the art and shit. So you may hear less of me.
That's what's important. Policing people.
Oh,
Policing people. I mean, especially, and I love where it is. It's like right near that mosque. Like I believe Bailey knows where that mosque is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Also, that's wild though. That's fucked that they built it beside the mosque.
It's like across the street.
They're doing the pilot program for the alternative police calls shit in Toronto.
About that. I assume it hasn't started yet.
Starts properly next year, and they're starting to set it up. Like they're talking to a bunch of different like organizations and like CAMH and all like the mental health response organizations, and they're gonna try it in 4 different wards. One being Scarborough East, downtown, one in North York, and one near Jane and Finch.
So how is that gonna work? So do random citizens just come up and like save the day or something, or
in that area?
Wait, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So because the whole defund the police stuff, which is why it was a very insensitive joke of what Raza just made. The whole defund the police shit, when people were asking for an alternative response system that you shouldn't send cops to every crisis call. So that's what the city is gonna try to do, a practice program where it's like you call 911 or you call for a emergency. It doesn't go straight to the cops. You get asked if it's like a mental health or community based situation.
Oh, okay.
if it's like a domestic situation, and they would send like an alternative force of people trained for like domestic abuse and mental health and like suicide crises rather than fucking cops with guns.
Okay, well that makes sense though. Like,
yeah,
it could be dangerous in some aspects, but I think it does make more sense.
But they do, all the cops and like even in Britain, right? The training is much more different. The protocol is different. You understand how to manage someone to the point that, okay, now I need someone with a weapon to come to the scene, or now I need to go to my car and get my gun rather than use the one that I have holstered on my side. Like, I think adding the extra step, because that's the part that the cops, some people that we do neglect, is they're anxious as fuck. They're trained to be anxious as shit.
On edge at all times, yeah.
Yeah, so if you don't, it's like, just take the gun away from them, like, or put it in the car, add an extra step of decision making before you have to just pull it out and pull a trigger.
Right.
That's my biggest critique of the cops, and that's the side rant. I'm sorry. Either way, yes, I think the community response is like the biggest transformation we need to do. I think to the benefit of the police, it's too much of a duty for them to handle all the variety of crime response that we have now.
Well, especially because they've shown that they can't handle it, so.
Would this give an incentive to like lower the funding for the police, since now they're not doing the full
in Toronto, they did some like fucking bullshit sign away to make us look good. They did fucking reallocated like 5% of their funding and took some money out of some shit, but not really.
See, that's what I don't understand about the. Oh no, I hate this guy. The defund the police movement, because it actually, if you look into it, it doesn't mean defund the police. It means redistributing the money towards programs that could actually benefit the community.
Well, the movement itself is not the problem. It's the rhetoric that they use. That's the problem.
Yes.
It's fun to say defund the police, but like if somebody doesn't understand what defund the police means, they think that you're gonna like put them at risk, but it's not. It's just, I think people got to use better words. It's not defund the police. It's reallocate the money. Like we're putting in money with our taxes to protect us, and like we're paying these people to take care of us, and like they're not doing it. So it's time to put the money where somebody's going to do those things for us.
Yeah, but I would say like mad advocacy groups were already saying that, and they weren't being heard. So like I think there's a point where you have to use like a little bit of a shocking statement to be heard.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Which, like, I agree with you 100%, but it's the follow-up afterwards. You can't just say, defund the police just to defund the police. Like, you do have to give a reasoning. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for the choice of words, because I think that, stop giving them money to spend money on stupidness, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, people who are less knowledgeable don't understand what that means. That's the issue.
100%. And then you see the stuff on Twitter or other social media where it's just like, let's take away the money from the police, and then they have nothing after that. Like, you have to have an answer for everything. Like, not for everything, but for
you have to have an answer for everything. You do.
Okay. I sometimes don't.
But the reason why I say that is because people are going to question you, and if you don't have a response for the question, it's like, especially with big movements, like you have to be able to say, okay, we're saying this, but this is what we really mean, and this is why we mean it, because people are going to be like, but why? Because even though no stupid questions exist, like stupid questions exist, people are going to ask you stupid questions instead of doing their own research. So you have to be ready for that.
No, I concur. It's like the biggest mind fuck I have to deal with as a communications professional, because I want to believe that you could create some advocacy platform and like help change things for the better, but people are just sheep that hit the retweet button at the end of the day.
Yeah. Like me.
So if everyone's posting a black square, then gosh darn it, I'm gonna post a black square too.
I got called out for that, but like, why you? And I was able to thankfully like put my point across where he said okay. You're allowed.
I mean, so I've heard that whole like people are like, oh, you're posting a black square, like it's there's your fake, they call it performative activism.
Yeah.
Which like, I can hear what you're saying, but also it's not just about being a performative activist. It's about letting the people in your group of, maybe let's say friends or family or whoever, it's making a stance to show that like, because you have to show people like what you support, I guess. Not that you have to, but like if you choose to be an ally and you want to show people you're an ally, like you do that, right? It comes down to the whole, like I had this argument just recently with somebody because they didn't understand the whole thing around pronouns, right? And why people need to have pronouns in their bio. And it's not that you need to, because not everybody needs to, and you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But personally, my pronouns are in my bio because I want people to know that I'm an ally. I care about your pronouns. I will use your pronouns if you present them to me. So in the same aspect with the Black Square movement, yes, it's a little bit performative, but at the same time, what you're doing is you're showing the people that you associate with in your community that, yes, I'm an ally. Yes, I'm a safe space. You can come to me and I will be here for you. Right?
Yeah. It's like a moniker for like,
right.
Or not a moniker, like a signal, like you can
right.
come. Yeah.
And it's not like that's gonna clean you of all future activism or any kind of like, it's not like, oh, I've done this and now that's the only thing I have to do, because I don't for 1 minute think if I post a black square that like I've done it, I've done all I need to do, I'm showing that I support, like I've done my job here. Like, no, that's not where my support ends, but it's where it begins. It's like I'm trying to show people that, yes, I'm here and I hear you and I support you and I want to help you, right?
Right. Yeah, I agree. That's probably the best way to put it. I just said like it's a good way to beef up the analytics for the whole Black Lives thing on the internet. But I like your bit more.
Well, and I think like also you have to, so even though you want to do something like that, you do have to be careful with how you do it. Like specifically like on Twitter, right? If you search up a specific phrase, so since you're talking about Black Lives Matter, I'll just continue off of that, right? If you search BLM, which is the hashtag for Black Lives Matter, you're going to get every single account name, every single hashtag, every single tweet that has mentioned BLM in that order is going to show up. So the issue becomes when you're not an ally or you're not posting anything that's relevant. And what you're doing is you're muting Black Lives by using that to in your username, let's say, to like post about your breakfast. That's irrelevant. You're not posting a part of the topic, right? If you're going to talk about the topic at hand, then you should have that in your if you are genuinely like, an advocate or somebody working within a group where you're posting about relative content. But if you're not, like you're just clogging up the algorithm and people are unable to find like true allies and people that they want to sort of start the conversation with. That's where it becomes an issue.
Yeah, like it deviates the message from what it's supposed to be, and the black tiles did unfortunately do some of that, but I don't know how much it was.
I mean, like there's always going to be an argument to do something or not to do something, right? And I think like at the end of the day, you have to do what's right. And if you're going to do performative activism, just like save everybody the time. Like, just don't bother.
Yeah, 100%.
But like you can't, it's hard because how do you tell people you're an ally, right? Like specifically for myself, when things started to happen with George Floyd, I specifically made a point of reaching out to my friends who I know would be affected by this conversation. And I made sure that they were okay. And I said, what can I do to help you move on with this situation? Like, how can I be an ally for you?
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to put your heart in the right place and do the right thing, right?
It's during that whole thing, I don't know what their whole motive what it was, but people I had a couple of friends messaging me and like, how are you doing? How are you holding up? And I said to them like, I'm doing great. Like what are you talking about? And like, oh, this whole like George Floyd thing, I assume it affects you too. And I had to think about that. I was like, it sort of does, but not like brown people are being persecuted all over the world, right? But right now the issue is on George Floyd. So if I understood what the person was doing, but like it sort of like says like why like it isn't about like brown like my people too. It's just about like specific people that are being marginalized right now.
Correct.
So like
right.
So
it's
yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, it's like people who want to argue and say, oh, it's not Black Lives Matter, it's all lives matter. And it's like, that's not what that means. Black Lives Matter means all lives matter, just Black Lives Matter more right now. And it's like, if you want to have an argument about the specific words used, like, okay, but like, you're just wasting time.
Contrast.
Yeah, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like you're just wasting time.
It blows my mind how the all lives matter just came up at the same time as Black Lives. I love how orchestrated it was. But
well,
like,
it was done purposely.
Response. Yeah, it was a direct response.
I love how. Yeah, I love how it was done, because like it goes to show that there is this side that is so like not used to having them not the center of attention anymore.
Yeah,
like the world doesn't revolve around like certain demographics anymore, and they're like, well, why do I have to respect Black Lives Matter? Doesn't my life matter? And then you turn around and then you show him that probably you haven't face the same sort of like a path that a person.
That's
because
when
if
we
that's
get
the rhetoric you're choosing, I was just gonna say, if that's your rhetoric, then you quite obviously have not faced any sort of prejudice.
Yeah,
right, and that's
like I have a homie.
That's when we enter the complex systems of like white supremacy being embedded in like our daily life, right? These are people who don't have that ever challenged. They live in a position where they are the center, and all their media is the Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson gives me the news, and he interviews white people, and he'll bring on a black person every now and then, so I know what they think.
Yeah,
right? It's a whole demographic of people. Yes, they've tokenized other cultures as a whole, not just black.
To be like, oh, I'm woke. I'm not I'm racist. I have that one black friend.
Yeah.
That's why I did this thing. I watched this interview. Sorry, go. I listened to Eminem one time.
No, but that's the biggest thing, right? And so whenever somebody says to me like, oh, I'm not racist, I have black friends, or I'm not racist, I'm dating a black person, or I have half black children. For me, it's like, okay, if you are genuinely like, if you're genuinely not that person, number one, you don't need to scream it at me, because I should already know. And also you should feel responsible, because the way that I see it personally is that if I'm not willing to stand up for somebody to be equal with me, then I don't deserve to be equal with them in my own right. So what I mean by that is that specifically, if I'm not going to stand up for Black lives, then I don't deserve to have those friendships anymore. Because how can you use them to your benefit when it benefits you, but then you won't speak up when it's time to speak up for them? Right. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, it's just like it's convenience. It's just like I'll only do it when it matters to me, when it makes me look good and stuff. I'll only do activism when it makes me as a person feel good about myself. So therefore, everybody around me has to feel good and shit. Exactly. That's what I think it is. Well, that's 100% the big issue. It's like if you've seen like in some of the protests. Sorry, I'm like stumbling here. Some of the protests in the UK, there was white women holding up posters like, oh, how are you going to open your mouth for black dick but not for black lives? And it's like, I don't think people understand how fucking tone deaf that is, and how completely you miss the whole point. You're totally in a different ball game.
Yeah.
But people in their brains, they think that because you have friendships with people of different races and cultures, that all of a sudden you support them. But it's not about the friendships, but it's about actually being an ally for someone. And it's there's this whole thing where it's like, oh, if you're an ally, then you're a social justice warrior, or you're just one of those, like, I hear this a lot, like, oh, you're a blue-haired girl on Twitter, and it's like, okay, go fuck yourself. Sorry that I have an opinion that I care about other people.
Like you can't have a dialogue with people who just resort to that. It's like it gets to the point where you're talking to a brick wall and nothing you say. And I deal with those people a lot, and it was like it takes out the energy out of you.
We're gonna have to get ready to fight our own Twitch chat then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready.
It's not. But it's not about a fight. It's about, like, if you have an opinion, like, this is something that I stick true a lot. Like, if I feel strongly about something, I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm just not. If you can't understand, or you're not on the same level of understanding as me, then when you get here, we can talk about it. But until then, like, I'm never going to argue with someone. The reality is like, I'm going to do what's right, and that's it for me.
Yeah, it's also good, like, knowing about these things, not just have a fucking closed-minded thing. Like, no one's saying like you have to like you have to be standing up for every sort of atrocity. It just, like, knowing about these things, understanding them, can make you a better person.
Well, that's it. And I'm going to be more apt to listen to your argument if you come at me with an educated argument.
100%.
Like, if you really oppose me, if you're really like, no, it's not this or it's not that, then okay, tell me why. Like, let's have an educated discussion. Like, teach me something then. And if you can't do that, if you don't have anything positive or anything good to bring to the table, like, you're wasting your time and mine, and I'm not going to entertain it. Like, that's it.
Then
go.
No, it's you.
Well, that's like, to tie both your points together, Miss Wine Mom. That's what I think is an important part when I'm discussing with people, because of my jobs and whatnot, of like, how can I learn, how can I be an ally to BIPOC people, how can I do this? Like, one of my biggest things along that line is like taking the time to educate yourself, because it's not necessarily, it's like perpetuating that thought, perpetuating change by knowing the facts about what you're defending. You only reinforce the strength of the argument that you're presenting to your friends and close loved ones, and hopefully changing their minds in the process.
Exactly.
But that's why my biggest thing during it definitely is, but I was just saying, like, my biggest thing was during that whole, like, performative era of the black squares. That's why I was like, time for Bebe to be quiet and let other people speak. Because I am not the definitive voice.
Well, exactly. But the reason why I said what I said is because it's not like, because people don't do it because they mean harm. And that's the biggest thing, is like, if somebody's posting, in this instance, a black square, or using a hashtag, they're not assuming that they are doing it for the right reasons. Like, they just don't know any better, and they're just doing their best. And people are doing their best to try and educate people online, and it's all about being open to hear the argument. And, like, if you're going to bring an argument, like, bring one that's educated.
And unfortunately, with the internet, people seem to skip that educational part, because everybody comes from a place of emotion and they personalize everything.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. We let emotion sort of dictate our opinions and shit.
100%. 100%. Well, and I think it's also the fact that, like, in this sort of, like, in our era of I guess, our generation, it's like everybody wants to be the person that's right 100%.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if I sit here and have a good point, like I know that there's a possibility that somebody may have a better point than me, or somebody could argue against my point and it might be better. And it's all about being open to understand that you may have a lot of knowledge, but you don't have all the knowledge, and you just being open to the idea that somebody has something to teach you.
Yeah, and opinions can change too, like just learning new information, of course, as cliche
100%.
as that sounds. But like, I feel like if people adopted that mindset, oh my god, could you imagine the fucking conversations I could be having?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like I was specifically having a conversation with one of my friends about politics, right? And how right now there's this fight between old school politics and new school politics. And I think about when I have children, and the politics that I believe wholeheartedly now are no longer the right politics. And I think about like, how am I going to react to that when I'm, let's say my grandmother's age? Am I going to have the same opinion as her, as to where my politics are right because we fought for them and they're right? Or am I going to be open to the idea that, okay, I had all the knowledge that I had for the time that I was alive and young, that now things are changing and politics are changing because they're always changing. Am I going to argue back and be as argumentative as some of the adults in our current generation, or am I going to be different?
Yeah,
I want to be different.
I think that's where the comment on allyship and letting the right people speak will come into importance as we get older, because hopefully our generation embracing that knowledge, then as we become boomers ourselves, we're able to identify that maybe this is the point where we need to listen to the kiddos, because they know a little bit more than us.
Right.
Ideally.
Ideally. The older the generation prior to us doesn't believe that. So I hope that we are different than them.
Well, and I find that like I usually pigeonhole, like whenever I'm arguing with somebody who is of an older generation than me and we're arguing about something related to politics, I can always pigeonhole them with, when you were younger, you fought for what you believe now. So why can't we fight for what we believe now?
Yeah, and yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. It's literally the easiest way to shut down an argument with somebody who especially when it comes to politics.
Go, Raza, go.
And they're it's their world they're used to. Like, this modern day world is not there, so they're always going to have a comfort zone that they don't want to leave. Like, I know my parents don't understand like half the things I talk about with them. It's because they don't know what who AOC is and who they know who AOC is, but that they don't know like the new politics, like the new kids on the block, like that. Yeah. So anyways, sorry, Bailey.
Well, I think with that, I would like to close out afterwards, but I was just going to make a joke about how I'm just out here trying to deprogram my family that maybe socialism shouldn't be tethered to dirty communists in your mind.
Hell yeah.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
And guess who beat the Nazis? The communists. So it's not that bad.
Join us, comrade.
Break the ice with that. But start a PowerPoint presentation. Like, hey, Dad, or whoever you're talking to, be like, yo, guess who beat the Nazis? Not capitalism, but a good old friend of mine named communism.
And with that, thank you for joining us, everybody. I think we covered a good spread of topics, spread of opinions. Thank you, Wine Mom, for chiming in. I think you worded some very, very well put topics needed to be summarized, and I think you fucking nailed it. So good job.
Oh, thanks.
Sure, you educated some people. I'm excited for this to be live. I'm very happy you've joined us. Thank you,
thanks.
Raza.
Yeah, so
Happy to be
same
here.
here.
Thank you, Raza, for being Raza. And I'm done
No,
ranting.
I don't
can
know.
talk.
Okay.